Well, good evening, fastball fans, and welcome back to Softball City. Beautiful Softball City here on the ISC Network's 2024 ISC World Tournament. Blair Setford, Joe Todd. Joe, we've been waiting all day for this game. Grand Prairie Pirates out on the field. The top-ranked New York Gremlins will bat first here this evening. They're the visitors. And, Joe, we're getting into now the Elite Eight here at the ISC World Tournament. We've got two of these games tonight, another two tomorrow night. There you see the batting order for the New York Gremlins. It's changed a little if you've been following the team all year long. Jerome Remeke is out with an arm injury. In is Abelardo Penuelas, a late addition to the roster. We'll talk more about him as the game progresses. We'll set the defense for you for the Grand Prairie Pirates. Left to right across the outfield, Chris Walushka, Braden Archon, Pat Burns. And then around the horn, Derek Mason, Kevin Schellenberg, Scott Galenza, Corey Jones at first, Liam Potts, the young left-hander from New Zealand, pitching to Keegan Archon behind the plate. Liam Potts, Joe, came on in relief yesterday, picked up the win in that big come-from-behind victory over the AWP Lumberjacks.
They've had two come-from-behind victories in this tournament so far. On Saturday, they knocked off the Georgian Bay Giants by a score of 6-5 in 8 innings. On Monday, they defeated the AWP Lumberjacks 6-5. Again, in a come-from-behind effort. So they're the cardiac kids here this week.
The New York Gremlins are anything but the cardiac kids. They like to get out in front and put teams away in a hurry. They have done that all year long, scoring runs by the bushelful. These two teams played 3 weeks ago in Elkland, Pennsylvania. It was not close.
Gremlins have got victories on Sunday, defeating the Steffensons Canadians by a score of 11-1 and defeated Midland by a score of 9-0 on Monday. Both these teams coming in with a 2-0 record.
Matthew Waugh, the veteran from Levis, no, where in Quebec again?
Levis-Ski? No.
It is at Levis, yeah. Levis, Quebec.
Yeah.
Apologies, Matthew.
Yep.
Ball four just off the outside corner. And Matthew Waugh does what any good leadoff batter should do. Sees a lot of pitches. Opportunity for Eric Ochoa, the on-deck batter, to get a look at Liam Potts. Eric Ochoa, the leading batter for the New York Gremlins over the course of the season. Joe, he's got 50 hits in their tournaments, batting .476, 50 RBIs, 17, count them, 17 home runs in those 50 hits.
One of the true professional hitters in our game.
Nobody else on the Gremlins is in double digits for home runs. Cole Evans has 8. Lucio Redemar has 7, which in and of itself is a bit of a surprise, but 17 home runs.
Quite the production.
Well, we watched the Gremlins up close in Simcoe. It was their first tournament of the season. Eric Ochoa, who plays in California, plays in Mexico, and the league's there. High hopper on the infield. In and out of the glove of Scott Galenza. Matthew Waugh sliding into second base. Doesn't go any further. So much topspin on that ball. Galenza, watch here. He'll go up in the air, but it spins right out of his glove.
Extremely hard hit ball, too. Took a mean bounce.
So the Gremlins already threatening here in the top of the first inning. Scorekeepers gave that a hit, and I think deservedly so. Ben Anoka to the plate. Benny had a grand slam in Sunday's opener for the Gremlins. That's his third grand slam in ISC play. He's now tied Steve Price for the most grand slams in World Tournament history.
He was 2 for 4 in that game.
Called a strike to the inside corner. That's a good pitch from Liam Potts. These two, of course, will see each other in the New Zealand season as well. And right back up the middle, 0-2 pitch gets too much of the plate. Beninoka will add to his RBI total as Matthew Waugh speeds around from second and scores without the throw.
Good punch right up the middle field. See on the replay there, just goes under the leg of Liam Potts.
But an 0-2 pitch, Joe, and
just got too much of the plate.
Yeah, way too much of the plate. Cole Evans, again, a lot of familiarity with Liam Potts and vice versa. Cole Evans moving into that 4 spot with the changes in the batting order and tries to turn away. And I think that one got him right on the arm guard. Just sounded like it hit plastic. We'll watch on, you see he's got the arm protection there on that lead elbow, and that's exactly where it gets him. That's why you wear those.
Yes. Great piece of equipment that benefited there.
Well, the local kid, Brian Avery from Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, will get an opportunity here to add to his collection of RBIs. Big cut and a big opportunity here, Joe, for the Gremlins to break this one open very early. Brian batting .329 on the season for the Gremlins. 3 home runs, 18 RBIs.
Potts needs to keep that ball low and hopefully on the inside part of the plate. You want to try and keep that ball in the infield. Let your defense do some work.
Well, he's got ahead of the batters here, but what he hasn't been able to do is to put them away. It was 0-2, and he came right back after Beninoka. It was right up the middle. He tried to come in, obviously, on Cole Evans. There's your inside pitch. Good one from Potts. Not going to do anything with that pitch on the inside corner.
Derek Mason, previous pitch, just kind of snuck over and said, don't be too good on this guy.
Well, Avery reaches out and pokes this one into the 3.5 hole. Ochoa scores. Sliding into third safely goes Cole Evans. Or not safely. Not safely. I thought he got a hand in on the base. Scott McLaren disagrees, calls out Cole Evans at second base. But 2 RBIs for Brian Avery. And that's a decent throw there. You see the tag just up at the top of your screen. Blake Hunter now to the dish and make it 3-0 for the New York Gremlins. A pair of RBIs for Brian Avery. Hunter, the designated player. A year ago, Joe, everything this guy hit was for extra bases. He had 2 singles on the season. Everything else was a home run, a double, a triple off the fence. Cooled off a little bit this year, only hitting .247. 4 home runs, 20 RBIs. Blake has been a run producer his entire career.
And defensively, he can play catcher, play the outfield, play some corners if you have to. His versatility's been a great asset.
Well, he can even play second base, too. So there's absolutely a lot of versatility with Blake Hunter. They're calling that a foul tip into the glove. Blake Hunter is bewildered and will leave the home plate area somewhat in astonishment.
Our umpiring crew, Eric Bodden from Las Vegas, Nevada, on the plate. At first base is Terry Richter from Sherwood Park, Alberta. And at third base is Scott McLaren from Penticton, British Columbia.
Abelardo Penuelas, a late addition to the Gremlins lineup with both Jerome Remeke and Zenon Winters on the DL. Winters has torn all the ligaments in his left ankle, I believe it's the left one. Don't think we'll see him do anything more than maybe a pinch hit. Penuelas, who's a very good ball player, was with Oma Tigre last year, was not planning to play this year at all. He's in his last year of college. Got the late call from the Gremlins about 2 weeks ago and played the USA Nationals and played the Elkland tournament with them and had a great Elkland tournament. He's already picked up 15, 20-odd hits. 22 hits in total. He's 22 for 44. Like that's
not bad for 3 weeks.
That's pretty good for 3 weeks, isn't it? Upstairs to Penuelas. So he's fit right in with this offensive juggernaut in green.
He really slaps the ball and puts the ball in play.
Chops at this offering from Potts.
That was a nice drop ball.
Full count on Penuelas. Look for Brian Avery to be on the move. Chopper on the infield, 2-3 hopper. Picked up by Corey Jones for the final out of the inning. But the New York Gremlins strike for 3 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1 aboard. And a very productive start for the New York Gremlins. Grande Prairie Pirates coming to the plate in the home half. Well hit, deep right field. It's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Besgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd. It's New York, New York. Well, there you see the concession stand downstairs at ground level and some of the great food that they've got on offer. The quesadillas, I heard, were really good. Set to face Jack Besgrove for the Grande Prairie Pirates here in the bottom of the first inning. There you see the lineup: Braden Archon, Corey Jones, Pat Burns be the first 3 batters. And then defensively for the Gremlins, Matthew Waugh, Benanoka, Abaleda, Penuelas, Avery, Evans, Mallarzook, and Ochoa around the horn. Jack Besgrove, as you would expect, pitching to Nick Mullins. Blake Hunter, the designated player.
Braden Arcan, 3 for 8 so far in the tournament. 1 double, 3 runs scored, 375 batting average.
Besgrove started and went the first game.
First game, yeah.
Well, he started both, but
yeah. He had 11 Ks in the first game against Stevenson Canadians and pitched 4 innings of that game.
That was what I was looking for. I know he didn't go the whole game,
no.
But Pablo, I think, came in for the last inning in that one against the Canadians. So Corey Jones, who has seen a fair bit of Jack Besgrove between his Team Canada duties as well as that tournament both in Elkland earlier this season.
Corey's having a good tournament, 4 for 8, 1 double.
Already, Joe, lots of big swings and misses, and this is what Jack Besgrove does so well. His ball moves so much. I was down near field level watching Jack warm up again for the Gremlins, throwing to Nick Mullins, and just the movement, it continues to amaze me that he throws as hard as he does, but the ball moves laterally, it moves vertically. It's so hard to square up and make contact.
The first time I saw him last year, and I'll still use that word, was explosive.
Yes. Just off the outside corner.
Most of his stuff just moves just before the batter's swinging the ball. Like it's only 2 to 3 feet away from that batter's box. Such light movement.
Well, Jones swings and misses. Is that one just off the outside corner? Can't catch up with it. Already a couple of strikeouts and looks very good right now. I mean, I know it's very early, but boy, they're not even close with those swings.
That drop is just falling off the table.
Pat Burns, who has seemingly held the mortgage here on Softball City, he owns this place. You couldn't get this guy out at the Canadians last year. He was 12 for 14 or something crazy like that at one point. You've got him at 5 for 7 already.
1 double, 2 walks, 3 RBIs, 714 batting average in this tournament.
I think Pat Burns would like to play here every week if he could. His numbers last year at the Canadians when we were here in late August, early September, they were slow pitch numbers. He was batting about 800.
I like the black pinstripe look. It looks good on the gold.
They are sharp uniforms. I absolutely agree. This one is laced. Diving, and Penuelas steals from Pat Burns. Stolen. Absolute theft. Watch the replay.
For the Pirates,
wow.
First inning, no runs on, no hits, nobody left on base, and there were definitely no errors.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com. and make your technology.
He came from Australia with a superstar pedigree. And from his first ISC in 2003, he knew he was going to be something special. 6 times All-World, a 3-time ISC champion, and now the first Aussie inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame. From counting materials and the farm in Wisconsin, to Kitchener, to finding a home in the New York Gremlins colors. Congratulations, Jeff Goolagong, from all of us.
That was a great tribute to Jeff Goolagong, brought to you by the New York Gremlins. And that was Zenner Winters on the voiceover.
Did a great job.
Yeah, doing that for his countryman and good friend, Jeff Goolagong. We had Jeff up the other day to talk about his Hall of Fame experiences and just what the ISC World Tournament has meant to him over the course of his career. We're hoping to have Robbie Schweier come up and join us a little bit later in this one. Of course, Robbie spent a couple of years with the Gremlins, too. So So Ladislaw Mallerzuk, Nick Mullins, and then back to the top of the shop for Matthew Waugh, or Matt Roy, as he is sometimes referred to.
On the West Coast?
Yeah. I guess they never heard of that goalie, Patrick. On the inside corner, Ladislaw Mallerzuk quietly, Joe, over the last 10, 12 years, because he was a member of that 2012 Argentina U19 squad that came up to Midland back then and set the table. There's a high hopper again. Galenza charges, throws, and they weren't going to get Mallerzuk anyway. Now that ball got into the dugout, so he gets second base too. Reese Casely, who's coaching first. I guess they're short some coaches this week, Joe. There's only 7 of them. But Reese Casely has had to take up the first base coaching duties.
Now batting the catcher, number 3.
But he and Terry Richter were pointing towards second base, but now the Blue Crew are going to get together just to confer about that one. But I was going to say, Ladislaw Mallerzuk has very quietly put together an exceptional career here in the ISC and with the Gremlins on the tournament circuit over the last 10, 12 years.
A great, steady ball player, game in, game out.
Yeah, you know exactly what you're going to get with Ladislaw Mallerzuk. He's got some pop, but he's a gap hitter, steady defensively. I can't think of the last time I saw Ladislaw Mallerzuk make a defensive error. So Nick Mullins to the plate, and here's another guy who is just a steady Eddie. Not the flashiest guy on the field, but his defense is impeccable. His leadership is enormous.
Great skills there, helping to drive Greg Leather and this team towards their final goal.
The influence that he's had on the pitchers that have come through the Gremlins system cannot be understated.
Well, I know in stories that I've heard him talk about is he lives in the Florida area and he brings the pitchers down and works. The pitchers will stay at his place for a week or two and they'll work on different pitches over that 2-week period, and yeah, he's almost like a coaching catcher.
That's poke foul by Mullins. Yeah, he almost is in that regard, Joe. He's like another coach, but he's the general on the infield. And just quietly leads by example. I don't think he's a real rah-rah guy. I've been around the team long enough to know that they've got guys like that. But they all look to Nick Mullins for the leadership.
He's the leader. Good wide open stance at the plate.
Well upstairs from Potts, and 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Nick Mullins. Ladislaw Mallerzuk is out at second base. Infield single, and as the ball squirted away into the dugout, he picked up the extra 60 feet. Misses inside, so a full count. And again, this is where Potts has been able to get to 2 strikes, but just hasn't been able to get to 3.
Yeah, he's got to be able to close that cycle out. Little late swing there by Mullins, but protecting the plate with 2 strikes.
Breeze just has picked up a little bit, Joe, blowing pretty much straight out to center field. And this one is well hit, deep left field to the corner, and it falls foul just to the left side of the foul post. A valiant chase out there by Chris Walushka, but just on the foul side of the pole. The old Carl Yastrzemski trying to wave that one fair. Didn't work for Nick Mullins. And misses off the outside corner. Ball 4 to Mullins. Keegan Arcon would like another look at that one. But don't forget, our camera's offset here, guys. This is not a perfect look. It's to the glove, but I guess the question is he set on the corner or off?
Now batting number 16, left fielder Matthew Roy.
Mullins and Malherzuk are the base runners. Matthew Waugh, or Matt Roy as he was just called on the PA. Inside to Matthew. Walked and scored on the RBI single by Ben Anoka in the first.
Potts thrown 40 pitches so far in the game.
Matthew 360 on the season for the Gremlins. 32 hits, 20 of them of the single variety. Just the solo home run, 13 RBIs, but for Matthew, the big thing is the runs scored, and 35 of them. The only one he trails in that regard is Lucio Redemar. But that's what you want out of your leadoff batter, getting on base and scoring runs. Five times All-World now for Matthew. He's made a run of that, Joe, in the last, I want to say, 5 World Tournaments. I think he's collected at least 4 of those All-World nominations. So not exactly in the twilight of his career, but in the mature part of his career, he is having his best years.
I'm guessing he's 35, 36?
He's in that neighborhood, yeah. This one is going to be flared foul down the right side into the mesh. Well, you can do the math here for me. 2011, Matthew came and played for us with the Toronto Gators, and he came directly from the Canadian Juniors that year. And in 2011, I believe, stand to be corrected, but I believe that was still a U21 event in 2011. So if he was 21 then.
And 13. 34.
Well, yeah, would be pretty much in that neighborhood that we were thinking, mid-30s. Laced right over the head of Galenza. That's going to get to the wall. Mullins has got a head of steam around third to follow Malherzuk to the plate and give Matthew Waugh a 2 RBI double and a big clap of the hands from Matthew as he does out at second base.
Good power hit, good upper body strength, and drove that ball out to center field. Driving in the 2 runs, Malherzuk and Mullins. We're now a 5-0 lead by the Gremlins.
And from the frying pan to the fire with Eric Ochoa coming to the plate. High hopper for an infield single in the first. Just waiting for Eric to uncork one here. He's not hit one yet at the ISC World Tournament.
He's due.
He's due. Jones behind the bag at first. Galenza deep at second. Called strike to the inside corner. Again, a good pitch from Potts. He's made several good pitches, Joe. It's just the consistency. At times, he just seems to come too much down the middle.
Just missing on that outside corner of the plate. A little high, too.
So 5-0 now for the team in dark green. Ochoa had the Triple Crown home runs, RBIs, batting average at the U.S. Nationals a weekend ago. Was named the tournament MVP to nobody's surprise. The Gremlins winning their 4th straight U.S. Nationals, 9th overall. They are one behind the legendary Clearwater Bombers team that won 10 ASAs back in the, I want to say the 50s and 60s, but maybe into the 70s too. Called strike. Ochoa thought about going after it, not to his liking.
Full count, 3-2 now to Ochoa.
And Joe, this main stadium here is filling up quite nicely for a Tuesday evening. People coming out to see Grande Prairie, who are from one province over in Alberta, northern Alberta. The Gremlins based out of Clifton Park, New York, upstate New York. Sponsor Bruce Tansky, the main sponsor for the Gremlins.
I'm expecting big crowds almost every night here now for the balance of the week.
We've had a good crowd Sunday, too, for the Gremlins. And a big swing and a miss. Down goes Eric Ochoa. And that, Joe, is the kind of pitch that Liam Potts needs. Elevated the rise ball, got Ochoa to chase. Watch where this pitch ends up. Keegan Arcon, who's a big lad behind the plate, he's reaching up for it. Good rise ball. Beninoka, RBI single. And Mr. Consistency year in, year out. Benny comes in batting .356, 4 home runs, 25 RBIs, 30 runs scored. Still elite level defense.
We saw Ben do some pitching.
Yeah, Ben
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Benny has logged some innings for his Auckland United team in the New Zealand season. It's been a few years probably for Ben, but I'm surprised that, or I'm not surprised that he can do it. Brother Tommy, who's on the Bear Creek Express, and they're coming up later. Tommy did some pitching for the Black Sox at that qualifier in Prince Albert a few weeks back. Fouled straight back to the screen. Benny is a 2-time MVP. Most recently in 2019, Gremlins would beat Kitchener Cubs in Circle Tap that year. Called strike 3. Potts has sat down Ochoa and Anoka, back-to-back strikeouts, his first 2 of the game.
At the plate, shortstop number 34.
But still has to contend with Cole Evans. Cole hit by the pitch on that leading elbow, but it got him on the arm guard. No harm done. He's the reigning MVP here at the ISC World Tournament. Laces this one down to third. Derek Mason, sure-handed as ever, comes up throwing. The Gremlins score 2 more, take a 5-0 lead into the home half of the second. We'll get another look at Jack Besgrove coming up.
And there was 1 error.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Well, there's a look at this beautiful park carved out of the fir forest here in Surrey, British Columbia. Softball City, one of the finest facilities you'll come across, not just in this country, but in North America. The picturesque setting, the facilities here are top-notch. And Joe, we're only on day 4 of this 2024 ISC World Tournament, but this is going to be one that I'm going to remember. This is a spectacular, spectacular place.
It's been a great trip so far, and I'm looking forward to the balance of it.
So Scott Knee-High, Keegan Archon, Derek Mason, 4, 5, and 6 for the Grand Prairie Pirates. Abelardo Penuelas absolutely robbed Pat Burns in the bottom of the first. This one is flared out to left, and that's going to fall foul down the left side. Scott Knee-High, Joe, just hits. He's one of those guys, comes to the ballpark with his bat. Not sure if he owns a glove. I'm not sure I've ever – well, he does play the outfield. I'm joking, exaggerating for effect. But he is a pro hitter, and down on strikes here, can't pull the trigger. The curse of the broadcasters continues. But Scott is one of those guys who just hits the ball, flat-out hits everywhere that he's been. So Keegan Archon had himself a big game, Joe, yesterday in the matchup with AWP, that come from behind win. Keegan Archon, a big part of that.
Yeah, and that he only played in the second game of that tournament, 2 for 4, had the big home run, 3 RBIs. Missed the first game. I'm not sure if he wasn't here or just absent on the bench.
I think he may have had a prior commitment. On the infield, Cole Evans scoops that up and makes a strong throw, again, as you would expect from Cole Evans. There are so many good shortstops. Cole Evans might be the best.
But if you watch on the replay here, he had to move down and did it so smoothly to catch that ball on his backhand.
Well, he surrounded it. He got in front of it. Watch how quickly he moves over to his right and then is able to make the throw. He comes so well over the top. His mechanics are so fluid in making that throw. Derek Mason, the veteran, 40 years old now, Vancouver boy, was thought to be done after a year at the Bear Creek Express, but when it was announced that we were coming here, Derek said, no, I am going to play one more time. Big cut, comes up empty there against Jack Bestgrove. He's had some success off of Bestgrove. Home run double off of Jack in the round robin at the 2022 WBSC World Cup. Canada victorious in that one, but Bestgrove and the Aussies would have some revenge in the final. They walked away with the gold medal. Derek, go ahead.
Derek was also one of the best friends of Craig Donaldson, Hall of Fame inductee, posthumously put in this week and had a great speech on the Sunday morning breakfast.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Derek and Craig's daughter, Kayla, I don't want to get the last name wrong, Gillen, I think.
Gillen.
But they both honored Craig with some wonderful, wonderful speeches, bringing the ISC here was Craig's idea. And we've dedicated this ISC World Tournament. Greg Tim, the head of the host committee, has talked about this, dedicating this week to Craig Donaldson. And it's been a pleasure all week long to reminisce about Craig and
Number 14.
to have this tournament here in his honor. So Mason gets the walk. And that'll bring up Chris Walushka, another BC product.
Wally, two for 6 so far in the tournament. 1 double, 1 walk. Laid down a nice sacrifice bunt.
Can't catch up to the rise ball there from Jack Besgrove, and he'll do a little bit of landscaping before he gets to the back of the board. Called strike 3. Walushka can't pull the trigger on that outside pitch from Jack Besgrove. The walk to Mason is stranded. After 2 complete, it's Gremlins 5 and Pirates no score. Stay tuned. We got a special guest coming up in the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be right back.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Mediosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago.
A while ago in my eyes, but I'm never gonna say no to the ball. But Josh Pettit deserves all the games that he can get, because the man is an absolute horse and a beast, and he should be throwing every game.
Well, I mean, we threw a blinder there last night. I thought we were going to be there for 15 innings,
quite some
until
time.
2 in the morning, the way he and that Miker Pimentel kid were matched up. But then he got the ball right away again first thing this morning, and threw another good one.
Yeah, and that was sort of, not necessarily talk amongst ourselves, but we knew that we couldn't take a chance. So if I'm not feeling my best, if JMO's not feeling his best, then it's best to go with your horse that's feeling it. He was tight this morning, and we said, you'll get over that. You're not as old as some people. And again, he ceases to amaze. He has the ability to be one of the best in the world, and so I'm hoping that this just proves it this week.
Yeah, he's looked really good here this week. Let's reflect on 25 plus years in the ISC World Tournament, and I first saw you throw in the World Tournament in 2002 in Kitchener, but go all the way back to Waterloo, and you talked about that with Larry Lynch and coming in your first one.
And so funny is I don't know the exact year. I think it was 97 was my actual first ISC with the Baltimore Merchants, which a lot of people didn't even know, but I was junior and flew in to play in that tournament in Victoria. And that was my first World Tournament. The next year, I played in the Canadian Championships in junior and had my jaw broken. And so I couldn't make it to the ISC World Tournament in 98. So then 99 was, again,
Waterloo.
Yep. That was my sort of breakthrough year where I played. Honestly, it was just a great group of guys. I didn't know how big of a stage it was because in Ontario, juniors is, the best of the best playing there anyways. And so going to the Canadians, I thought that's where it all stopped.
Right.
And then coming to the ISC, it just had an eye-opener in Victoria that year because we had, 10,000 plus, throughout the park, and they had vendors everywhere. That's back when the game was a lot different.
Yeah, it was a bigger stage back then in Victoria, and of course that was the last time actually we were out in Western Canada in 1997. Of course, a lot of water under the bridge. 2002, pitching in the final with Broken Bow in Kitchener.
Bittersweet.
Didn't quite go your way, but you guys picked up a lot of championships in that era.
Yeah, and we would have had a chance for more, but back in that day, we had joined with the Broken Bow Spirit, and myself and Musi were on contract with Doc, and it was kind of never said year to year or anything like that, and so I showed up for the first two tournaments that year, and Doc finally said, he's like, I just can't keep 3 number ones happy.
Right.
And so they went with Frank Cox and Gerald Muselar, and that was sort of my exit from the Broken Bow organization. But he also brought me back for a lot of ASAs when he went with Patsy's and stuff like that. So it was never a,
Never a goodbye.
No, it was never a goodbye. It was just, go be number one somewhere else. And so I tried. And that year I had come on with HIS Construction out of Houston, tried to bring them sort of, and we did really well. So that was the core years of my career up until, the farm years of 2007 through 2009.
You are one of 3 remaining farmers still playing.
Wow.
You, Zenon Winters, and Jason Hill are the last guys from the farm. Everybody talks affectionately, of course, about Rod Peterson and the time with the farm. How do you remember those years?
Again, that's what made me cry at the Hall of Fame. So as soon as Gooley started talking about some of our days after, like Rod was just a player's coach. He knew that some people could go out and have some fun and some people just needed to be all business. He didn't interfere. He said, I need you to show up. I need you to play your best. Whatever you do on the sidelines is up to you. And he just said, he goes, this is about family. And the farmers were a true family. I will say that. The Gremlins I've been a part of, with Broken Bow, it was a family. But it was just a different family with Rod. He just made you feel like you were special. And that's what I loved about Rod Peterson is that, he could be mad at you 1 second and then turn around and be like, let's get a Bud Light.
The last time I think that you were all-world was actually as a designated player
2010
with
PA
Power.
Yep.
And how much did you enjoy the fact that you got to hit, too?
Well, I mean, honestly, Doc Simmons was the only person that said don't hit. Coming through the junior rankings, I was top hitter, MVP at a few of the Canadian Nationals. So, being a hitting pitcher was not that's a common thing in Ontario, especially in Canada.
Yes, exactly.
And so Doc, he basically said, he goes, do you think I'm going to sit Jared Martin so that you can hit? And I said,
Jared
no,
was
Doc.
a pretty good hitter.
Yeah. When we come up against our Broken Bow lineup, there were no gaps. So he basically said, he goes, I just want you to be the best pitcher that you can be. And I did hit in other tournaments, like our Grand Island tournament I would hit at. Sometimes I would hit at Erie, PA, and the same with the farm. I would hit through the year, and then when it come down to time, he goes, I don't need you getting hurt.
Yeah.
He was other than, and the funny part is he had, Dean Holine, he had Jody Hennigar, all hitting pitchers, and I was like, but at that point in time, I'm quite okay. There's some amazing hitters in this game, and again, I don't need to hit it. I just need to go out there and concentrate on one thing, and that's throwing some strikes.
You've picked up multiple ISC championships over the years, the ASA stuff. Can you talk about what this tournament has meant to you over the years and the teammates coming to the ISC and working all season long for this event?
Again, it brings me to tears every time. This is where my family is, and and I tell my wife, I'm like, it's not over you, it's not over my blood and my true family. I said, but you just come to the ballpark and you have the time of your life. You tell stories, you create memories. You're vying for world championships. You're vying for a job next year, and so just the competitiveness here is what it's all about. I mean, if you look at every other pro sport, in quotations, it's the best of the best competing for the contract for the next year, and that's what this is. And so you just get lost in the field of dreams effect, where you make memories with everybody, you meet new people. Like Beezy and I sat down and he goes, "Oh, I remember," and I said, "Don't start talking about that, remembering when you were 10 years old and watching me play in the ISCs." That's the sort of stuff that you love to hear, but let me retire first before we go over those ones.
Right. You just touched on this a little bit, but we get to the opportunity to go to this Hall of Fame breakfast every year, and what always strikes me is in the speeches, hardly anybody talks about the games. It's the people. It's the friendships.
Yep. Because, the whole reason why we're there is the games. And so what it leads you to is, why was I so successful? Why did I succeed where, others succeeded as well, but what made it so special to me, to Donnie, to B-Man, to Gooley? And literally everything is the people that are around you make you a better teammate. And surrounding yourself with guys like these and guys that I've had in the past, as well as Kegel. Doc Landerman has been tremendous for the game. He's kept Kegel around after John Kegel passed, and so you have a love for those sponsors and you want to give back to them.
Yeah, Doc's a great guy, and kept together a real nice core group of players who are very competitive every year.
It's it's one of those, anytime that we can be a Cinderella story, that's what Doc wants, and that's what we did in the ASAs, and that's what we did the year after. And then the other thing is you're going to get not nitpicked, but you're going to get picked apart. Sort of, you have your top players that are going to want to leave for a little bit of the limelight, and that sort of breaks the lower seeded teams. But Doc's like, I don't care. I'm here to make memories, to have family, to play as many games as we possibly can. And he gets mad just like Rod Peterson does when we lose. But he's the type of guy that says, you left it all out there.
You had a really successful professional hockey career in the I guess the minor leagues.
Yeah, totally the minors.
Let's call it.
Yep.
How do you compare the two sports, or is there a comparison between what we do here in fast pitch and in the hockey side of things? Whoa, gets
Shelley.
into this one here. Kevin Schellenberg.
Another ex-farmer.
Rocks one, yes, and you're right, because he's come back.
Yep, because he's come back. So he kind of had that retirement stage, and then came back, and Shelley is, ceases to amaze again. The little man with a big stick.
The first hit of the game for the Grand Prairie Pirates, and it comes off the bat of the 9-batter Kevin Schellenberg, deposits it right into the bleachers in left field, and that will put a little bit of energy into that Grand Prairie bench. They looked a little flat after the first couple of innings and what the Gremlins have jumped up to. But a great inning by Liam Potts, while we were talking, had a 1-2-3 clean inning.
Yep.
And Schellenberg here gives them a big start in the home half.
All it takes is that one swing to get everybody, all of a sudden up and really cheering in the stands as well, but in the dugout. Back to the sort of hockey stuff. For me, the hockey is just nonstop training. Whereas in fast pitch, you have, a talent and you can take some time off with it. And so that was the biggest thing for me. And a lot of times my family, friends, and even my agent would be like, you need to make a little bit more of a commitment, to play in the NHL. I thought I was going to the NHL. People around me thought I was going to the NHL. And then, it's not an excuse. Softball got in the way. It's one of those things where I just didn't give my heart to hockey, even though my heart was in it. My heart was always in fast pitch, because you could be an individual and have a little more success. And it sounds, it sounds greedy, but it just is. I wanted the ball. I wanted to be involved in every single play and have every pitch and make every home run. And I think that's what got to my success, is that I just didn't care if I failed. I just wanted to have the opportunity to succeed.
And that's an interesting way to put it, wanting the opportunity to succeed.
Well, I mean, there are so many times where people get scared of the big game, or not wanting the ball, and there's been numerous times where people are like, I've had staffs where it's like, do you want the ball? And like, that's the silliest question I've ever heard. Of course I want the ball. Why else would I be playing this game? And I guess that's what makes pitchers to become elite, is that never being scared of going out and giving up, 5 runs to Hill, 5 runs to the Gremlins, Bear Creek coming out. So I'm just not worried about being embarrassed, if that's sort of a thing. It's like, I'm going to give it my all and hope that my best is good enough.
Right. You've got a real successful career going on and a great life out in California now. Getting into the coaching ranks too with UCLA, and congratulations on the success that you guys have.
Thank you. Again, the people that are in the game already, there's Mike White and people like that.
A lot of guys from men's fast pitch have moved over into that college game.
And it's been tough, to sort of to get in without offending people. Because it's not a he said, she said. It's more of a, this is how we view it, this is how you view it. What's our common understanding? I have a tremendous staff. I mean, I have one of the best staffs in the game with Kelly Inouye Perez and Kirk Walker and Lisa Fernandez, the GOAT, as we all call her in LA. So, for me to walk into that atmosphere was super easy. I didn't have to pack my family up. I didn't have to move across country. I didn't have to, start at a low-paying job that a lot of students have to do. So a lot of my colleagues are a little perturbed that I stepped in and made a top 5 team. We started off the year ranked 26th and ended up 5th. And so because I was the addition, I got a lot of praise for it. And let me tell you, it wasn't me. Coach Inouye.
Take some credit.
It's one of those things where I can take credit with the pitchers and what they did, but the entire staff was just amazing. And so that was the first time I really got to see the difference between the men's game and the women's game on the schedules and sort of the rigorous practice. But at the same time, over the years, I've been with the Chinese national team. I've been with the Dominican national team. I've done a lot of batting practice, throwing, and that's what's kept me in shape. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, if I wasn't doing the college game, I'd probably have to retire because my body wouldn't get in shape in quick enough time.
Yes, because you're always throwing.
Yeah, and so that's been the blessing the whole time of having those types of jobs is. And I live in California where we don't have to throw in a hockey arena, throughout the winter, or a horse barn.
Right. There are some advantages to summer all year round. Robbie, what's the takeaway for you for the rest of the week here? You've got, I think, a day off now tomorrow, do you?
No, we're back at 9 a.m.
Yeah. 9 a.m. tomorrow?
So we're getting these 9 a.m.
quiet
games.
night tonight, then?
Yes, that's why I'm up here. Yeah, we were going to go down to the beach at White Rock and have a nice dinner with a couple drinks, and I was like, I ain't as young as I once was, so I'm not going to try and recover. I'm just going to stay here and take in some ball. I brought the whole family there and having a little bite to eat, and get to say hi to some of the boys. I know Otis left today, I believe, and Gooley's still here. So I'm going to try and spend some time with him before he takes off. And the thing to take away from the week is we're looking to pull that Cinderella story off again. Don't know if I'm going to be throwing in the morning. The back's been feeling good. So ultimately it's up to Doc. And I won't be sour if Josh keeps throwing because I know that I would want the ball, and I know that back in the day I would have the ball. So I just hope Joshy is on the massage table right now getting loosened up. And if not, I'll be there to take the ball and run away with it.
Well, one game at a time
exactly.
for the Fargo-Kegel Black Knights. Robbie Schweier, thanks for joining us. Great conversation.
It's always a pleasure.
And anytime we've got an empty spot here, you're more than welcome to come up and do some color commentary, too.
You guys can just give me a shout.
fabulous conversation.
I'll come up as soon as the kids start crying. How about that?
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, Robbie. Really appreciate it. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to seeing you pick up some more wins and climbing up that wins ladder
Hopefully.
in the ISC all-time ranking.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy your night. Thanks for having me.
You as well. Take care.
Okay.
ISC Hall of Famer. Great conversation with Rob Schweier. We'll let Joe Todd come back in and join us. And Joe, how about Kevin Schellenberg getting a hold of one and depositing into the seats? One hit, one run for the Grand Prairie Pirates, and up to Liam Potts now to shut the door. He had a good clean inning while we were talking to Robbie. He's hit Ladislav Maller-Zuk with a pitch, and Maller-Zuk was on the run there. But if he can keep that door shut, maybe give his team a chance to claw their way back into this one.
Yeah, they got some work to do, but they got the bats in that lineup to do it.
Kuba Osichka is up and throwing in the bullpen for the New York Gremlins. Maller-Zuk on the move. This one is about a 44-footer from Potts, and it bounces away from Archon. Ball four to Mullen, so it was somewhat irrelevant anyway for Maller-Zuk. Was going to get second regardless.
While Robbie Schweier was being interviewed, Jonas Hajny was throwing about 30 pitches down the left field line last inning.
Now batting left fielder number 16, Matthew Roy.
2 straight walks for Nick Mullins. So Matthew Waugh, 2 RBI double in the second. Walked and scored in the first. And there's another base hit for Matthew. Won't pick up an RBI as Maller-Zuk, that hard hit ball just allows him to get to third, and that is it. But we'll load the bases now for Eric Ochoa. And Joe, does he break out this time?
Hard to say, but he's got the average to do it, and he's going to poke that ball. Bases are loaded now. No one out here in the top of the 4th inning.
I was hoping the breeze would have subsided by now, Joe, but it is actually picked up a little bit. The flags are not quite straight out, but they are certainly blowing out. Advantage Ochoa. Infield is in. Galenza in particular on the right side, and forget about it, Eric Ochoa has broken out. A grand slam for number 8, the great 8. And it was just a matter of time, Joe, and he's picked the right time for the Gremlins.
You had just talked about when's he going to break out. Well, he did it right here, right now. 4 RBIs picked up in the top of the 4th inning. New York Gremlins now ahead by 9-1 score. Jonas Hajny now making his first appearance, I believe, in the tournament.
It's Heine, is it not?
Heine? Is it Heine? Is it pronounced Heine?
That's what I got from
our
good friend
I'll go with it.
Kopriva.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Was Heine. Well, listen, as he comes in, we'll take a break, and we'll be back. Crowd still buzzing about Eric Ochoa.
Sometimes people worry about asking for help because there can be a stigma around mental health problems.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
They might believe that asking for help means admitting that something's wrong.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Some people worry about how others might see them.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Asking for help means that you want to make changes and take the first steps towards better mental health.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
We should celebrate the courage it takes to speak up and make changes.
Trust your teammates. Trust your teammates.
Getting help is part of recovery.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
Mental health isn't something you need to keep to yourself. Talk to a friend. Trust your teammates. You're not alone.
Trust your teammates.
Trust your teammates.
The first steps may be the toughest, but knowing where to look for help is a good start. Community mental health organizations like the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mental Health America offer resources and programs that can help you. Visit cmha.ca or mental.
Well, Jonas Heine in relief of Liam Potts, Ben Anoka, Cole Evans, Brian Avery. How about that for your three batters that you're going to have to face at a minimum?
Welcome.
Welcome to the big leagues, Jonas Heine. He's been around for a couple of years. It's not his first rodeo.
Shows the changeup.
Ball on a strike. And upstairs to Ben Anoka. And this one is drilled right back up the middle. That's going to scoot all the way to the fence. And Anoka with a nice tidy double to greet Jonas Heine. Anoka 2 for 3 on the day, an RBI. Arcon and Heine out. They will just work on the alternative set of signs. That's why Eric Bodden, the umpire's out there with them. That is one of the permitted defensive conferences. When you get a runner on second base, of course, you're going to want to change up your signs.
Now batting shortstop, number 34, Cole Evans.
Cole Evans to the plate, hit by a pitch in the first. Thrown out, trying to go coast to coast. And that one right out of the glove of Keegan Arcon. I don't know whether that was the pitch he was expecting because they changed the signs. But move Ben Anoka up to third base on that miscue. And there's a good pitch, a called strike on the outside corner. We got a foul ball that just came in adjacent to us, and it sounded like a bowling ball hitting 10 pins. Just a yard sale over there with that foul ball. We're perched up on the upper deck, if you will, the second deck here at Softball City. And it's a great spot for us. It's a great spot for fans who are over to our right because there's a full-service restaurant here. They can get their food, sit down on a patio, and you've got a perfect view of the ballpark. The only drawback is that you are occasionally subject to some foul balls that come screaming in from other diamonds.
They have extremely high safety fences here, but they still make their way.
They do get over them. They do get over them. Hard hit ball right at Scott Galenza. Comes up on the bounce. Able to throw out Scott Evans. Ben Anoka comes home with the 10th run of the game for the Gremlins, so a ground out RBI for Evans.
Good play by Galenza to stay in front of that ball, block the ball.
Well, he's going to feel that.
He's feeling it now.
Feeling it now. Yeah, that left a mark. Look at there. Yeah, he wears that up high in the chest. That's going to say K-Master in reverse. Brian Avery, 2 RBI single in the first, down on strikes in the third. That was while we were talking to Robbie Schweier. That was a good inning from Potts, but it just seems to have angered the Gremlins if they've answered right back with 5 runs and counting here in the fourth. 4 of those on the big grand slam by Eric Ochoa. So he joins Ben Anoka in the Grand Slam Club this week. Shane Boland's got one. Couple of perfect games here. People getting going to be a busy time putting the guide together next year with all these additions, Joe.
You will have a busy winter.
Yeah, I keep having to make notes to myself to make sure that, yeah, there's a Grand Slam to add.
If you have never purchased an ISC guide, I would suggest you buying one, keeping it on hand for future records. They're all available off the ISC website.
That's a great plug, Joe. Well done. I like it. So 3 in the first, 2 in the second, now 5 here in the fourth. That's how the Gremlins have put up a 10 spot. The lone bright spot for the Grand Prairie Pirates, a solo bomb by Kevin Schellenberg. Avery reaches out and pokes this one out to right. Drifting across is Pat Burns. He'll gather that in foul territory. Avery, that pitch looked like it was almost in the other batter's box. Look how far he went out to go get that.
At the plate for the Gremlins, designated player number 12, Blake Hunter.
So Blake Hunter looking to join the hit parade for the Gremlins. Penuelos must not be used to the cool, unseasonable weather we're having here in mid-August. He's got a hoodie.
Probably winter for him.
He's from Mexico, so he's not used to anything below 25 probably. It's been overcast here most of the day in southern BC. I think we got as high as 20 Celsius, but not much beyond that, and it's certainly below that now. It says 18 on my phone. Now, tomorrow is supposed to be a little bit warmer than today, and that would be a welcome occurrence, if that's the case. Ball 4, Blake Hunter will go down to first base. Abelardo Penuelos, the 9th batter of the inning. Boy, what a defensive play he made in the bottom of the first, too. Stealing one with a flat-out Kevin Pillar-like Superman dive.
And it was a clothesline going out there, too. Like, it was a rope.
Called strike from Heine. Penuelos would probably like to avoid being the third out for the third time this game. The third out in the first and the third out in the third. Oh, nice defensive play out there by the shortstop, Kevin Schellenberg, still as slick as ever. Hitting bombs and still doing it with the glove. Kevin Schellenberg looking good.
For New York Gremlins, top of the fourth inning, 5 runs on 4 hits, 1 runner left on base. There were no errors.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that, a fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit.
So Pat Burns will get another look at Jack Besgrove. Talked about how well that Pat's been hitting here at this park over parts of the last 2 seasons, and he certainly got all of that one back in the first. But Abelardo Penuelas, boy, I'm going to struggle with that one. Abelardo Penuelas took it away from him. Pat focused almost exclusively on outfield play and hitting. Doesn't pitch much at all anymore, so I'm told. Not even in league play, from what I hear. I always think about that gold medal game, or not gold, the bronze medal game in 2019 in the Czech Republic, and how well he threw that day.
He threw BBs.
Chases this one upstairs from Jack Besgrove, and not able to catch up with that one.
Now batting designated player number 24, Scott Nehigh.
7th strikeout of the game for Besgrove, 6 through the first 3 innings, so 2 out of every 3. Scott Nehigh. That one is off the corner.
Seven strikeouts for Besgrove in 3 1/3 inning. .46 pitches so far, 47 now. Just missing.
Yeah, just misses down low.
And just keeping that ball low. Mullins working that part of the plate right now. Mullins setting low again on the outside corner of the plate and gets Nehigh to go after it. Besgrove hitting the targets. Mullins working hard with him right now. Nice pitch there. Great pitch on the outside corner of the plate. Beat him twice on that outside corner. 8 strikeouts now.
And that's one of the real things that Besgrove excels at, Joe, is hitting the spots. Rarely do you see him come in over the plate.
Keegan Arcand.
Keegan Arcon ground out to Cole Evans back in the second inning. Laces this one down the left side, but that's about 10 feet foul. I saw some lineup sheets come across for the next one coming up. Bear Creek Express and the Glowworm squad. Adam Folkert and Max Montero. An interesting choice going with Adam Folkert. Sean Cleary yesterday, 1 hit through 5 innings, looked good, but the opportunity to get Adam Folkert some work, spread out the workload, and then tomorrow would be the off day where Bear Creek to win tonight. But don't count out this Glowworm squad. They are scrappy. They knocked off Bear Creek a week ago at the U.S. Nationals. Glowworm coming in 4th behind the Gremlins, Oma Tigre, and the Hill United Chiefs.
Knocking off Circle Tap earlier this week.
That was a great game on Monday morning. 2-1, Glowworm in 9. Alan Salgado with a home run in the top of the 9th for the difference for the Glowworm squad. And what a great group of guys those are. The Rios family, love David Rios. So nice, such nice people. Jack Besgrove strikes out the side. He's not very nice to the Grand Prairie Pirates here in the 4th inning. The New York Gremlins got this one well in hand, 10-1. They're going to come back up in the top of the 5th. For the Pirates, they've got some work to do if they're going to extend this one.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Mediosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Pinch hitting for the New York Gremlins, it'll be Zenon Winters. He's going to test that ankle, Joe, and don't expect to see Zenon legging out any doubles or triples here.
No, I'm sure he'll be very cautious.
To an extent. We both know how much of a competitor Zenon Winters is, how much intensity he brings to his game, and that's why I think partly why he's had such a long career, but also why he's been so good for so long. He's just that edge that he brings.
Always keeps himself in top physical shape, too.
You know, I can still vividly remember in right field, Zenon Winters, who blew the tire and stretch some ligaments, and he gets hit there, and he won't have to run anywhere. Well, he's going to jog down to first, but I would look for somebody to emerge from the dugout. He's not even going to wait around. He's going to head right back, and out comes Out comes.
I think it's Gonzo Masmu, isn't it? 24.
No, Ladislav Malazuk.
Oh, Malazuk's
who
re-entering.
he was pinch hitting for.
Yep.
Yeah.
24 in, 53 out. 24 in, 53 out.
So after Malazuk was hit by the pitch in his previous at bat, I'm sure he was happy to see Zenon get hit this time. And Tawny Mumu hitting for Nick Mullins. And Joe, we just had the Mr. Ned ad run here before this inning started. I do want to give a shout out to our great friend Varm Matiosian, not here with the Gremlins this week for family reasons. And Varm, we're all keeping a good thought for you. Thanks for being with us, and we know you're here in spirit with the team.
Lucio Redemar warming up in the bullpen.
No, that's Kuba Osichka.
22, is it?
One hopper, Heine, the underhand long toss to Corey Jones at first.
I see they have two 22s on the lineup card.
Oh, they've put the wrong number down. I think Redemar's 27. But yeah, they have written 22, you're right. So Gonzalo Masmu will hit for Matthew Waugh as Greg Leather and crew empty the bench here in the top of the fifth.
Gonzalo Masmu.
Fouls this one back to the screen. Joe, one of the great depth advantages that the Gremlins have is the guys that they can put out, the Tawny Mumus, the Gonzalo Masmus, Lucio Redemars, is the speed, the blazing speed, and Redemar in particular, but the speed that these guys bring to the field. They can really put the pressure on teams' defense with that speed.
Yes, they're just the next group of 9, but they could step in and do the job anytime. The depth of that lineup in the roster, incredible. Archie's got a nice build for a pitcher. I like the long legs. He's got a little bit long arm too. Got a nice smooth motion.
Oh, right past a diving Scott Galenz and Gonzalo Masmu with the single, and it's an RBI single as Ladislav Malazuk comes around all the way from second to score, giving his Argentina teammate an RBI. Make it 11-1 for the Gremlins.
Eric Ochoa.
And Eric Ochoa back to the plate. Strike at the bottom of the corner, or bottom of the zone rather, from Heine. So Ochoa 2 for 3. 2 runs scored, but 4 big RBIs on the grand slam in the fourth. And he might have done it again. He has deep center field over the grandstands out in center. Eric Ochoa, his second home run of the game. And Joe, well, I guess he's broken out.
Yeah. I guess he's looking for you to be his agent.
Well, as long as I get a cut. 6 RBIs on the game for Eric Ochoa.
3 for 4, scored 3 runs.
And nobody came out of the dugout. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. He came around home plate and nobody. Crickets.
Number 89, Ben Anoka.
Ben Anoka. So it's come full circle here for Jonas Heine. He came in to face Ben Anoka, was greeted with a hard hit double right back up the box.
"27 home runs. No, 50.
Well, he
home
had
runs.
17 home runs coming into the
in.
tournament, so he's got 19 now.
Not a bad year.
Yeah, pretty good. And he's now got 56 RBIs. I'm not sure what he had in the other couple of games from the RBI standpoint, but assuming he had none, which might be a leap of faith, he's got 56 now. Anoka, one hopper to Mason. He'll tap the glove and fire over to first. Second out of the inning.
That brings to the plate shortstop number 34, Cole Evans.
Cole Evans hit by the pitch, thrown out trying to go first to third, a ground out, and then a ground out RBI in the fourth. That one skipped in from Heine and ricocheted off of something all the way down to Mason at third. And Evans didn't mean to swing at it. That ball ended up on the plate.
Called it foul.
But, okay. I guess they called it a dead ball foul. But it landed on the plate. The plate is in fair territory, is it not?
Yes, it is.
I'm a little puzzled by that one, to be honest.
The diamond is lined from the
the
back
line
point.
from the back point of the plate. Unless they're saying it hit the bat twice, maybe. Anyway, he lifts this one out to right field. Pat Burns will come over for the third out of the inning. It's academic now. The Gremlins tack on a couple more, 13-1 now, and they'll need 3 outs to end this one early. Come back and stay with us on the ISC network. Blair set for Joe Todd. We'll queue up the Bear Creek Express and the Glowworm some more. Derek Mason, Chris Walushka, Scott Galenza. Some work to do here for the Grand Prairie Pirates to extend this one. They're going to face Kuba Osichka as he comes in with a changeup first pitch. Nothing like starting with a changeup, Joe.
Good call there by Mullins, just to throw the timing off on Mason, just in case he was looking for something special.
Osichka, the young, tall right-hander from the Czech Republic. And, Joe, having enjoyed a visit to the Czech Republic earlier this year, I can tell you they do grow them tall there. But Kuba Osichka is about 6'4", 6'5", taller than Heine. And the levers that this kid's got. He throws hard. He's got some good tools, too. He's got a great changeup and a good drop ball.
Michael Holobratic is no small giant either. Just huge in size, just thick.
Yeah, he's a big
tall
lad, too. The pitcher for the Hill United Chiefs from Prague in the Czech Republic. Ball 4 to Mason as Osichka going to look to find the strike zone now against Chris Walushka. And this one is drilled right back up the middle. Walushka means business here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mullins will go out to talk signals with Osichka. Scott Galenza, he's had a hard day at the office over at second base. He's had some real tough chances over there, and that smash that caught him up in the chest, he's going to be feeling that one in the morning.
Hopefully he's okay.
Well, if he gets a base hit here, I'm sure it'll all be all right.
Yeah, it'll all feel better.
He's a goalie, too, so I'm sure he's used to taking some hard knocks. There's the good drop from Kuba Osichka. Spent last year with the AWP Lumberjacks. With Andrew Kirkpatrick retiring, Jack Besgrove got the bulk of the work this year, and they retooled the support staff. Pablo Migliovaca carried over. Now there you see the drone shot from Luciano Lafrano and Softball Premier TV. What a great shot that is. Galenza, a little tapper on the infield. Mallerzuk steps on the bag and throws out Galenza. So just when you thought that Grand Prairie maybe was getting something going here, the Gremlins defense comes through.
Tailor-made double play.
Yes. You couldn't have asked for much better for Mallerzuk or Cole Evans, who was right there in the vicinity. Either one of them able to make that play. So Schellenberg, who hit the bomb to put the Pirates on the board in the 3rd.
Schellenberg come out of retirement to play in the Canadians last year. Added a great contribution to the team and said, I think I can still add to this team. And so the 43-year-old Schellenberg is really adding to this Grand Prairie roster with that big home run.
Well, when the ISC World Tournament comes to your backyard, you've got to go play.
Yeah, you're not going to miss that opportunity.
Brian Avery scoops up the ground ball from Schellenberg. That's the ball game. The New York Gremlins dominant again. The Grand Prairie Pirates will have to regroup in loser's bracket. We'll zoom in on the handshake line and give you that unique perspective. Joe Eric Ochoa, the star of the day. 6 RBIs, a grand slam, 2 home runs.
You were wondering when he was going to break out. Well, he broke out right here.
Come back with us at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the Bear Creek Express and the glowworm, Adam Folkard, making his World Tournament debut for 2024. Joe Todd, Luciano Lafrano, Carol D'Areste, Marvin the Music Man, Peter Labardius is anxiously awaiting on deck. We'll bring him in for the nightcap. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you soon.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now, softballpremiertv.com.